All right. I can't believe it, but the conference is completely over. Look at my schedule. I went to every single class and every single talk, keynote, conversation sessions. I went to every single thing. These are cut out because I ended up sticking those ones in. But I'm right now going to review the very last day of Wild Wonder, including the big announcement that hopefully you already saw because it came out on YouTube. It came out on Facebook, I believe. And for all the participants, it was on the Zoom. Right here, you can see I've got my, I kind of came up with some new stuff during the last 5 days of doing sketchnoting every day during the conference. And one of them was using my watercolor brush to create these dividers. As you already know, I've been gluing in stuff from the schedule. So I've actually been cutting these out and gluing them in. Oh, yay, Ray Bonto is here. Can't get enough. So cutting things out and gluing them in is a really good strategy. And I wish I had printed out the poems. So every day Jack would read a poem in the morning, and I wish I had just printed those out so that I could glue them in. Today's challenge was to look for hope outside, go out into nature and find awe and hope. So it was a really inspiring morning poem from Jack as usual. It was kind of sad that it was the last day, but he had a lot of good things to say. Very first class was with Vitor Velez, who I have interviewed in the past. I'll try to post the link to that video where I interviewed him, and he talked a lot more about his process in that video. He taught at last year's Wild Wonder and this year's Wild Wonder and had a really great class about composition. Very technical, very well thought out. I loved it personally. It might be a little bit deep for some people, but I really do think that thinking about composition and page layout is probably the number one way to make your pages look better visually, but also to communicate information intentionally. And he's put a lot of thought into it and had a lot of great ideas and things that he's tested, including what he calls sliced compositions, which is when something goes off of the page. And it was a really, I was blown away. I've seen his presentation before. I've interviewed him. I've studied his style, but I was still blown away. I am going to try to find that that link so I can share the previous video that I did with him. I think it's called Nature Journaling Style. And really great. In that interview, you would be able to see more about his describing his process. There was a lot of questions at the end of the his Wild Wonder class that he wasn't able to answer. So I think that if you check out this video, I'm getting it right now, then you'll get a lot better answer to some of those questions that he wasn't able to answer during his class this year. So I'll post that in here. Oh, cool. We've got Jasmine here, Rebecca's here, Cindy's here, and Facebook user is here. Thanks for joining in. I'm going to continue to go through it. So then another thing, interesting things happen when you are at a nature journaling conference and you go to every single class for 5 days in a row and you're kind of not getting enough sleep. But I started drawing with my water brush. I didn't have the materials that he was using in the workshop. And I started drawing with my water brush with just straight watercolor on it. And I've basically almost never done drawings like this before, just with watercolor, but it ended up being really useful for this sort of note-taking about his class. And I like the way it looks. So that was kind of interesting that just came out of nowhere. That was something that I didn't even think about. I just had all my materials here and I just started drawing with the watercolor brush, and it worked out. Right after his class was a 20-minute break. I went to the bathroom and tried to get some exercise on the stairs. And then it was the Perpetual journal class with Lara Call Gostinger. I've been trying to interview her for a while. I might get her on the Nature Journal show sometime in the future. And she was talking about a perpetual journal. I didn't stay for her whole class, I must admit. This was one of the few classes where I didn't stay for the entire thing. I didn't have the materials to build or start a perpetual journal. And because I don't live in a single one place, I don't think that a perpetual journal would actually work for me. So nevertheless, you can see that I still took notes, and she had some good quotes. She, for example, my favorite thing that she described is she had a job at one point where someone paid her to nature journal in their yard for the full year, to nature journal all the season. So she basically got paid to nature journal in someone's backyard, which I thought was crazy. I will announce the big announcement, but I'll announce it at the end. Or someone could announce it here in the comments. It looks like Marge is asking if someone could answer her. That'd be great. I could also post the link to the new website for the Wild Wonder Nature Journaling Foundation. Where am I? Here we go. Oh, that's a good point, actually, Crystal. I never even thought about that. So I guess you could do a perpetual journal without having to be in the same place every year. That does make sense. Yay, Terry! I'm so glad. It's sort of the synthesized version. So here, the next thing I went to, and I didn't miss a single one of these because they were amazing, was the Pencil Miles and Chill. I don't know if you can read that, but every single day at 12 o'clock California time, there was a 45-minute session, only 45-minute session of Pencil Miles and Chill. Honestly, my favorite part of the entire conference, because you can hear ideas from a lot of different people besides just one teacher. So I was facilitating conversations, and my goal wasn't to talk a lot because I get to do that other places, but to help other people share their ideas and listen. And we talked, the breakout room that I was in was how to save the world with nature journaling. And I think some of the people that are here right now were participating in that. Some people have been so active in this conference, like Crystal, for example, who's here in the live chat. I've been seeing everywhere during this conference. Next class was with Jean McKay. Jean McKay has been nature journaling for 25 years, so very OG. There's not that many people I know. I mean, that's before it was even like known as nature journaling necessarily. And she shared some stuff. I must admit, I started to lose energy at this point. After 5 days, I was getting kind of tired. And didn't totally follow along for her full drawing of a seaweed, but I stayed there for most of it. Then there was, I took a nap I took a micro nap in between Pencil Miles and Chill and the Perpetual Journal. And then there was the conversation. I don't know if you knew this already, but Amy Tan is the most famous nature journaler. And had some cool stuff to say about her backyard birds. And Fiona has the shorter haircut, so I didn't do the greatest job of drawing Fiona or Amy, but it was interesting to listen to them. And it was really funny when Amy first met Fiona. She looked at Fiona's journal and she saw all the question marks on Fiona's page, and this is literally what she said. She said, "Oh, that's one of those annoying children that asks a million questions." And I thought that was really, really funny. And then Fiona said something funny too. She said, "You will not be a bad artist forever. Just keep drawing." One thing I want to point out too is that Amy has posted a lot on the Nature Journal Club Facebook page, and does these really detailed bird drawings in colored pencils. And people like to say, "Oh, you're so talented," and everything like that. And I think Amy Tan is the perfect example of someone who has practiced a lot to get good at what she's good at. And it's the same with nature journaling. She has grown a lot in her nature journaling. And if you look at her original drawings, and she shared her original drawings, and she talked about the word talent in her conversation and about pencil miles. And it's really about pencil miles. So don't use the word talent, even if you're talking about Amy Tan, okay? Or I'll slap you. Just kidding. All right. And then the very, very last class, I should draw teardrops coming from all of these animal eyes, but the very last class was how to draw animal eyes with Mary Jo Koch. And Mary Jo is in the Santa Cruz Mountains, so sort of Northern California, but south of San Francisco. And she talked a lot about eyes. I must admit, I was getting tired during this one as well. She went really into depth for how to draw eyes in the studio. It was one thing that I noticed here. This is sort of my own, metacognitive stuff, is I noticed 2 times today, instructors saying the exact opposite thing of another instructor. So this is important to pay attention to, but I think it's also interesting. But for example, one teacher said gouache is better if you keep it in the tube and only squeeze out what you're going to use, because it dries and cracks and stuff when you take it out of the tube and it goes bad. Then a different teacher said gouache can dry out in the tube, so it's better if you pour out all the tubes in your palette. So sometimes teachers will say the exact opposite things, and maybe it's a topic that there's a lot of subjectivity around, or maybe it's a topic where it's not really clear how the things work. So apparently gouache and watercolor are still in that realm of mystery. Another one that I noticed was one person said vibrant watercolors are achieved by using pure pigments without layering. And then another teacher said you need to put down multiple washes to get vibrant colors. So those 2 things are exactly opposite of each other. Regardless, that's just part of my kind of thought process and something that I put down on paper. It's interesting. It also means that it's good to learn from multiple teachers, in my opinion. And this is the reality of the world, is you're going to find contradictory information. So might as well write it down in your journal. I didn't totally finish my eyes, but I tried to do a couple studies and practice some stuff that was new to me. And then last but not least was the dinner break and the keynote speech with Jack and the backstage pass. I barely sketch noted at all because I was actually moderating on the YouTube to make sure people weren't spamming the YouTube, and to transfer the questions over to the people that were in person in Palo Alto. So I think I'm going to wrap with that. This is the last Nature Journal Show episode that I'm going to do, covering the Wild Wonder Conference live during the event. But I think I might do a couple sort of wrap-up ones. Oh, I wanted to show you a couple of these. I actually have some examples. I should have done this more all along, but I didn't have enough time to prepare these. But here's a screenshot I took during Laura's class. You can see she has a botanical style. So if you're deciding, what classes to go back and take that you missed, if you really like detailed botanical drawings, then Laura Call-Gostinger is a good person to go to. And she talks about the Perpetual journal style and its benefits. So if you like the look of this page right here, and you like drawing with 0.005 microns, that could be a good choice for you. She also talked about this really fancy journal she bought that's handmade. Then also I got a screenshot of Vitor Velez. Look at this really cool flamingo. This flamingo page, I think, exemplifies the degree to which he has thought about composition and movement on the page, blank space on the page, and how that affects the feelings of the viewer. So if you're really interested in composition and how to organize your page, then his class was great. I really enjoyed it. It was a little bit challenging to follow along with because of it's almost like you're listening to a professor talking about something that they've really put a lot of thought into. And he's only 27, which is kind of crazy to think about if he keeps doing this. The other thing I want to point out, and I think I shared the you'll have to scroll back through the live chat to find the link to the video. Oh wait, here it is. That's not going to make you be able to copy and paste it. But I interviewed Vitor Velez before. And the crazy thing is people look at his drawings and they're like, wow, he's so amazing. He has such a unique style. and he totally breaks down how he developed that style and how many hours he puts into drawing. I think if I remember correctly, he was saying he draws like 4 to 8 hours every single day. So anyways, he's put a lot of time into his craft. So those were the classes from today. And I'm probably going to do some type of review at the end. Ooh, one other thing that I should point out right now is last year I did a whole shopping list. I went through every single art supply that was mentioned, books mentioned by every single teacher, and created a shopping list all in one place. Part of the incentive for me to do that is that I have been using Amazon affiliate links as one of my ways to make a teeny amount of money from doing this YouTube channel. Now I'm finally deciding to dump Amazon and to stop doing those affiliate links. So that means I'm not going to be making any money from doing that. So I really appreciate for anyone. I know a lot of you already support me on my Patreon, but I've decided, partly because John Muir Laws, is always talking about how bad Amazon is and how we shouldn't be supporting Jeff Bezos. And up until now, I've sort of been rationalizing it as one of the few ways that I can make money off of this YouTube channel. And so I've been using those affiliate links, but I'm going to stop doing that completely and buy your stuff somewhere else besides Amazon. But just so you know, I'm going to be losing I'm sacrificing one of the few small sources of income that I have because I don't want to give any to Jeff Bezos and Amazon anymore. So really appreciate everyone who's already supporting me on Patreon. If you enjoy getting this free content with lots of information and you want to help support me, check out patreon.com/MarleyPiper for more. And help me out, help me dump Amazon. Okay, I think that's it. I'm really tired. It's been 5 days of basically, that's one thing too. On my Patreon, I posted my complete schedule of what I've been doing every single day for the last 5 days, and how I've been surviving and creating blogs, because I have been creating blog posts. That's the other thing. It's not over yet because there's all these 30-day challenges. So if you want to keep the momentum going, from Wild Wonder, I've created this 30-day challenge. You can find it on the Facebook page, and you can find it on my website, marleypifer.com. And there's still challenge days to go. So if you want to keep up your momentum, you can do this. And every single day on my website, I write a whole blog post about that day's prompt and how to use the prompt. So I've been doing that before Wild Wonder, then taking all the classes, then doing this at night. But tonight it's a little bit earlier. So thank you all for joining in. Oh, Susanna's wondering, it's some really dumb lamp thing. I'm in an Airbnb that's supposed to look all modern, and it has these lamps. I can show you the one over here. So some people think that for some reason, this idea of lamps that have no lamp shades and look all, you can't even really see it, but that's another one there. And then that one back behind me is also a lamp. So it's basically just like a bulb floating, and it looks more like a sculpture than a light. It looks cool at first, but it gives you a really bad headache, and it doesn't have a lamp shade. And lamps have had lamp shades for thousands of years for a reason. And for some reason now people think it's cool and modern to take them off. And all right, thanks everybody for joining in and dumping Amazon and Jeff Bezos with me. Yeah, more coming soon. I think I'm going to go to the Amazon rainforest all next month to kind of detox from being in the city and being on the computer every day for Wild Wonder. Basically, I've moved to Quito in the city just so that I could do Wild Wonder. All right, everybody. Bye. Yay, Marge is pro lampshades also. Bye, Ray Bonto. Go to sleep now, okay? Bye. Yes, dump. Here we go. This is going to be the theme for next month. Which Amazon is more valuable? Oh, that reminds me. I want to make a t-shirt that says like, which Amazon is worth more? And it has one on one side and one on the other side. Thanks, Rebecca, that's a beautiful, beautiful reminder. All right. Good night, everybody. Bye.